how it all started.
Katya Kovtunovich.
I come from a family where praising or expressing feelings of amazement, it's not a norm.
She's a storyteller in silk, a voice for cultural fusion, and a self-made force whose journey began on Sakhalin Island, Russia, and led her all the way to British Vogue, Prada, and the fashion scene in Dubai.
When we realized it's not possible to copyright anything in fashion, she said, then you need a major celebrity to wear it so everybody would know it's yours. And guess who that celebrity was? Andrea introduced me to her. I met her at 3 o'clock in the morning in the airport.
Exactly.
She was shocked. She was like, wait a minute, I'm flying. I said, yes, I will be there. Whatever time you need me to be there, I will be there. We need a mirror to understand who we are, because when we are born, if we lived in the world where we had no mirrors, you wouldn't know you're beautiful or you're not.
We either find you in the opera, on the horse, or running.
And you know how many times I was criticized for it? Why can't we normalize a person having multiple interests?
Being
It actually makes you a creator, because if you're only interested in fashion, you will never come up with something visionary. The love to UAE happened on my first day when I arrived, because I was walking to the supermarket and I met a lady in the street, and it was 1st of January. And I said, hello, Happy New Year, being me. And she responded. And we spent half an hour talking. I'm like, who does that? In London, people told me, you talk to strangers, you are weird, you are chameleon.
What does it take to turn childhood sketches into dresses worn by royalty and global icons? On today's episode of UnMute, I sit down with a woman whose story feels like a fashion fairy tale that was built on grit, global hustle, and unwavering vision. Katya Kovtunovich is more than a designer. She's a storyteller in silk, a voice for cultural fusion, and a self-made force whose journey began on Sakhalin Island, Russia, and led her all the way to British Vogue, Prada, and the fashion scene in Dubai. She began sewing at age 7, hustled her way into British Vogue without connections, and launched her brand during a global recession. Today, her designs bridge East and West, transforming the traditional Bedouin textile sadu into high fashion worn by Hollywood stars and the Gulf royals alike. But behind the glam is a woman who once felt her voice didn't belong. This episode is about how she claimed it and turned it into her greatest asset. So we talk about redefining success as a woman in business and beauty, fashion as cultural bridge and a way of self-expression, and how finding your voice often begins with being misunderstood. If you've ever doubted your place in the world, felt like an outsider, or needed a reminder that your story is your power, this episode is for you. Let's unmute with Katya Kovtunovich.
Andrea, first of all, I've never had a more beautiful introduction. It really makes me feel so incredible. Is this all about me? Really? Thank you.
Thank you for being here on UnMute. I wanted to do this interview with you for a long time. You've made the time. We are here on the couch. And I look forward to truly unfold the incredible person you are and all your amazing accolades and what you've achieved.
Thank you. And can I introduce, ladies and gentlemen, can I introduce you the incredible Andrea Zoya, who was the first person to support me when I was just starting my brand. We met on Facebook, I believe. There was one message that I sent to her. She said, oh my God, your idea is incredible. You need to copyright it because everyone will copy it. And when we realized it's not possible to copyright anything in fashion, she said, then you need a major celebrity to wear it so everybody would know it's yours. And guess who that celebrity was? Andrea introduced me to Joël Mardignan, who now become my dear friend, who changed my life absolutely, and I woke up famous. From 500 followers, I woke up and there was something 4,000. I said, wait, is something wrong with my eyes? Wait, I'm seeing double digits. Yes. I'm forever grateful, and really, it meant the world to me, at that time especially.
So that was back in 2014, and when I heard your story when we've met, I immediately had this instinct. I mean, just like your entrepreneurial instinct, I also had mine, and I said, you are taking this traditional material and you want to transform it into this unlimited way of creating incredible fashion. And of course, other designers might copy it. So we have to strike fast. And I said, I'm going to call Joelle. Luckily, she immediately loved you and what you're doing. You've met her, but now let's
I met her at 3 o'clock in the morning
Exactly,
in the airport.
exactly.
She was shocked. She was like, wait a minute, I'm flying. I said, yes, I will be there. Whatever time you need me to be there, I will be there. She couldn't believe it. And I actually met her at the airport at 3 a.m. And I think this is what made her respect me a lot. Because she said, you are the same as me. You'll go out of your way for your business. I said, of course. Is that possible to do it otherwise?
Yeah.
I don't know how to do it otherwise.
So you had your meter, how do you call it? The meter with you?
I had my centimeter to measuring tape.
Measuring tape. And what did you craft for the first time for her? What was the first outfit?
She was going to Fashion Week in New York, so I wanted her to wear a jacket. So my brand started with jackets and skirts made of sadu.
Yeah.
And then in 2014, we introduced this tunic. So originally it was jackets and skirts and coats. So that's what I was making for Joelle.
I know that you've heard from many celebrities this, but really when you gifted me the jacket and it was just in the, as you were making your second step, I was so proud to wear it because it was different. And every single time I wore it, or I wear it now, I get compliments.
This, I swear to God, I don't know how this happens. Every client tells me the same story. And honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's God, maybe it's universe, maybe it's energy that I put in my brand. A lot of women tell me, I want to wear your piece to the court. I'm divorcing my husband. I need extra power. Or somebody is going to set up their business and they need to wear it to legal office. And they say that your story translates through your clothes and it gives us confidence and it represents you.
100%. 100%.
I'm so happy if this is the case.
So let's unpack a little bit your incredible success story by sharing with the audience of UnMute. When was a moment in your life where you knew that you were constricted or muted, and how did that feel?
I think it's happened since I was born, because I come from a family where praising or expressing feelings of amazement, it's not a norm. So if I came back home with a good mark, my mom would say, why didn't you bring 2? So there was never enough. Whatever I did was never enough. I was absolutely self-sufficient person. My mom never checked my homework. I was an amazing student. I went to music school. I almost managed myself as a child. And I never received any sort of praise for either my academic achievements or for my achievements as an artist, as a young artist, because all my free time since I was 7, I was teaching dresses. And if I show you the dresses that I've made, you will be blown away.
We want to see.
Yes.
Can you show us?
Yes, of course. So today we have a very special guest on our podcast. It's my Barbie doll.
This is very special, Katya.
This is my Barbie doll. And she's wearing the dress that I made at 7 or 8 years old. This was a lampshade.
Wow.
You know this abajur lamp that has a fabric around it. So this is the dress, and this is how it all started.
Is this the original doll as well?
The original doll was unfortunately stolen at Expo 2015 in Milan because I made a tunic for her.
Yeah.
And she was part of my stand because that's part of my legacy.
Yeah.
And somebody took it. I was heartbroken. You cannot imagine how heartbroken I was. Why would you take something like this from a stand? But we found the doll that looks exactly the same as mine.
Okay.
So I want to be honest.
Thank you very much. No, your honesty is refreshing. When I speak with you on the phone, I immediately feel like whatever my fire is, if it's a 6 or a 7, it goes to 8 and 9. You're just a force. What else do you have there? A black dress.
We have like a whole fashion show here.
A whole fashion show.
This is a dress, also made from some kind of leftover fabrics that I picked up somewhere.
But you did this later on, not at 7? Because it feels like a very complex...
All was done, I think at 13 I already had no time to design for dolls, so it was done before I was 12 or something like that.
But who taught
you?
you?
A close up with the stitches.
Who taught you how to cut like this?
I bought little children's magazines that had patterns, and I just tried different things. But look at these pants. Look at these stitches.
Yeah.
Can we show it in the
Insane.
close-up?
Insane.
And then this was an old beret
How you made these little pants?
eaten by moths. But I decided to turn it into a jacket with a little piece of mink.
For mink, yeah.
So things that I wish I could design for myself,
Yeah.
but I couldn't have this luxurious
Yeah.
fur.
But you were expressing your desires.
Exactly, I designed it for my doll. And we had
So again, you
a
taught.
full-on suit to go out.
Okay, who taught you how to cut and do this? Again, the patterns from the magazines?
Initially, my mom taught me sewing, but I've exceeded my mom's skills by far, yes. I think just being bored and not having a phone and not having
Instagram
TV,
and TikTok.
TV in our house was not allowed.
Yeah.
My parents would hide the wire that was taking you from TV to the socket, so we had no TV.
This is incredible.
Thank you so much.
How such little hands of yours were able to make this.
Well, I think this is much more impressive.
Oh my gosh. So.
And then there are these shoes.
No, I cannot.
And then there are the boots.
If
and if you see the stitching, it's incredible, right?
It's like from the museum.
So imagine, I was a little girl stitching this, and I never received any compliments or praise from my parents. And for them, me sitting there was a waste of time, and they say, why don't you do your mathematics instead?
They had different value system,
Absolutely.
right?
But imagine growing up as an artist who was not understood. You know, the book that helped me to understand myself was Passion for Life, about Van Gogh's life, because he was also not understood by his family. Van Gogh, the painter?
Yeah, of course.
His family were church people, and he was a painter that had nothing to do with the church. So they wanted him to follow the family traditions, and he just was an artist who is now recognized by the whole world. But initially, he had to struggle. So I found refuge in this book, because I understood, okay, so if Van Gogh was not understood, then it's okay for me to not be understood.
Now, I'm giggling, and I'm also holding in my hands for the first time the art and what you stitched that propelled you, that was the most significant. It feels like I can touch the documentary, you know? Because, yeah. For the sake of unmuting, because we know, we taste, we wear. You're shipping your items in more than 70 countries today, right? So your success is there. It's done. You've done it.
Thank you.
What would you want your mom to tell you? Like, what does the little Katya, what would you want to hear from your mom?
Right now, I'm fully healed. I don't really have any requests in that sense. But of course, when I am with small children, that are children of my friends or my nieces, I'm the first person to praise them and to say, you know, express yourself, be free, and maybe you fail, but maybe you will not. And after failure comes the win. So I'm the most supportive person. I think struggles and not receiving this praise myself made me an extremely sensitive person to others. When I see others not receiving the praise or being booed or being bullied, I'm the first person to stand up, because now I'm an adult and I can help them. And that's almost like my big passion and such a big calling.
I never told you this because we didn't really have, you were busy becoming a famous and amazing designer, and I was busy building my coaching business and presenting events. I have the same story. I'm going through the same, and I had to learn the hard way that my mom and dad gave me a certain type of love. And today, in our modern lives, we have the book, The 5 Love Languages for Parents, where parents are becoming more and more conscious to really channel and translate their love into the child's language. But in the 80s, in the 90s, parents didn't know more than that. So giving you the shelter, the education, dressing you well and keeping you healthy was the maximum.
Andrea, but I think there is no what if, because maybe if I had a different childhood, I would be a different person. And I think it's really my strength that I went through all these difficulties. I know how to handle them. I know how it feels. And it makes me connect with other people experience something similar on a completely different level. Like now I just came back from UFC in Baku. And every person, every fighter who lost his fight especially says, Katya, your words were such an important support for us. How do you know how we feel? I just know. You know, it gives you this talent of feeling people, of being emotional, of being deep, because you know what it feels. And only people who lost themselves feel what it feels to be lost. Only people who were neglected feel what it feels to be neglected. If you always had an amazing childhood and amazing life, you would never be this sensitive person to the pain of others. And I think it's a beautiful gift in disguise that came with suffering myself.
I was observing on Facebook that you are always taking photos and selfies with security guys, with guys who are selling chai, and it was a time when I was doing it as well. So I see the common denominator of being extra sensitive and gifting and giving others what we know that we would have loved to receive, and the more we give it, the more we fill ourselves up. It's been, since we are in a conversation about unmuting, it's been really the theme of my life to want more of my mom's attention and to praise me for living Romania, being in the UAE, learning English, learning the particularities of English to an extent where I can teach public speaking and present on stage. And whenever I tell her about my achievements, she would lovingly say, I'm happy for you. But she wouldn't be able to meet the spirit of what was the struggle of the day. She would only say a plain, I know you're smart, good, yay.
My grandmother said, are you still doing those tunics? But nobody needs them. I was like, wow. If nobody needs them in the country, in the climate where you live, where people are poor, maybe they cannot afford, maybe they don't go out to restaurants and five-star hotels. But how can you say something like this? Because this way we can devalue any work. So a surgeon keeps doing the same operation? How boring is that?
I want to stop.
Or Andrea Bocelli keeps singing the same Conte Partiro. How boring is that? We can devalue any path, any work, any profession. And the baker keeps selling the same bread. How boring is that? It's a failure? No, it's not.
I have a two-part important question. Psychology says that when we are not loved and filled with love, we can easily devalue ourselves or others. But you went on the opposite. You went extreme into, I have value, I will show my value, I will fill up myself with value, and I will value others. Do you think you've done that consciously or unconsciously?
I think I learned a lot about myself from the world, not from my parents. You know, we need a mirror to understand who we are, because when we are born, if we lived in the world where we had no mirrors, you wouldn't know you're beautiful or you're not. You wouldn't know you have this or that. You need people or mirror to show you how you look and how you behave. So when I went to London, and I was completely on my own, me, my character, my spirit, and people told me, you're amazing. Wow, you're such a brave person. You go and you find a job on your first day after arriving. I actually found 2 jobs. And I received so much praise from the world, from people I worked with, from people that hired me, from those little guys who worked with me in the restaurant, everywhere. They told me who I am. They said, you have an amazing character. You're such a caring person. Wow, you're so talented. And then when there was a time when people were stopping me in the street, where did you get the jacket from? I want to buy it for my girlfriend. Give me your number. I'm like, oh my God, no, I'm a journalist. No, but you should become a designer. So the world showed me who I am. While growing up, I was completely muted and didn't even know, is it a talent? Is it actually precious? Who I am? Is my character too much or too little? Should I be more loud? Should I be more quiet? So I didn't know who I am.
You were constantly calibrating.
Yes. I was looking at other people's reaction to understand, is this okay to be this way?
In retrospective, and I want you to really give me the most lovingly and sincere answer that you have in this moment. In retrospective, what are you most grateful for your mom?
Oh, my mom gave me a lot. She gave me creativity. She gave me this craziness. She's a very outgoing person. Her character taught me a lot about life. She's a very positive person. I learned this optimism from her. She comes up with ideas. You know, if you miss the train, she will be like, okay, great, let's make a picnic. If something goes wrong, she would tell you, no, we're turning it into a party. Or like she would always come up with a positive idea. That's a massive talent that I needed in my life and that I got from my mom. Creativity, like taking a sofa fabric and turning into fashion. That's definitely my
international trend.
That's definitely my mom. The way of thinking out of the box. That's my mom.
And why do you think she wasn't able to praise you as much as you wanted?
Because maybe that's not what she believed in, or she believed if she praised me, she would spoil me, or I would become full of myself. I think that was her.
Isn't that part of the culture in Russia?
Maybe. But it's 2025, you know. We already have books, we already have information available. It's like people nowadays who say, oh, sorry, I don't speak English. There is no excuse anymore for this kind of things. You know, you have internet. Whatever you want to look for, you can find this information. So at those times, yes, I have nothing against it because they didn't know. But with time, we should learn, we should progress, we should educate ourselves. And we should accept our mistakes.
What about your dad?
My dad was busy with work, like many dads. So
we have the same story. My dad passed away when I was 7, so that made me feel invisible and pretty much unsafe. Then my mom went to work and I was left at home. I was also stitching some clothes, again, out of boredom.
Boredom is such a fantastic thing. And I think the modern kids are deprived of it.
They are.
And it's a very bad influence, seriously.
Because in that space of nothing, spirit will speak to you and you will find the best medium for you to express what needs to come through you. But if you are distracted by getting info from the phone and gadgets, I don't know.
Tchaikovsky wouldn't be able to write music if he was constantly on his phone. To create masterpiece, you need a quiet energy. So when I'm preparing for something or there is something creative, I want to completely stop using my phone. I want to disconnect with people. I don't even want to talk to anyone.
Another thing we have in common is retreats. You've done Vipassana once or twice? Once. How was it?
It was interesting. It was more a way to challenge myself. People say, oh, you love to talk. How are you going to spend 10 days without talking? Perfectly. People don't know, really, that I actually love silence. And I'm happy to be on my own and I can just be with nature and very introspective.
Same here. In August last year, I've done 100 hours of dark retreat. I went to Moldova to my spiritual teacher, Igor Grosu. We had him on the podcast a few days ago. And 100 hours in the dark. Deprived of light and sound, and then came out renewed, refreshed, and clearer.
I think the best healing for me is spending time with horses. I forget everything.
Yeah,
it's better than sound healing.
I see you every weekend on the horse.
Massage. You receive so much love and so much peace, and it's just something magical for me.
Before we go into your incredible hobbies that I'm actually jealous of, because I see you riding every weekend. I'm like, now she's running, now she's doing with the horses, now you're doing the opera. We either find you in the opera, on the horse, or running.
And you know how many times I was criticized for it by my mom and by many people. Oh, so now you want to be a ballerina? When I was into ballet and I went to volunteer at ballet festival. Oh, so now you want to be a pilot because I wanted to.
Yeah.
I went into aviation and I was just learning a lot about it. So now for sure people will be like, oh my God, now she wants to be an MMA fighter. What's wrong? Like, why can't we normalize a person having multiple interests?
Being multi-passionate.
It actually makes you a creator because if you're only interested in fashion, you will never come up with something visionary. Because you almost need to match different industries. You need to match different views. You need to match things. You need to see things above your industry. So if you're only interested in one thing, you will never create something extraordinary. You need to bridge disciplines and bring things together that don't normally come together.
Okay.
And that's exactly what I've done. And if you're not interested in many subjects, for me,
don't criticize others who are.
You're missing out on life.
Okay, just for you to know. So you are a journalist in London. It was very difficult for you, and your story of how you made it happen, and it's incredible. It's it's all on your website documented. I love that story. But let's just cut straight to, in London, you're offered an opportunity to come and work in the UAE. You come to the UAE, you fall in love with it, you love the energy, but when did you see the tent, the fabric, and how the neurons came together and said, oh, I'm going to play with this fabric? Take us to that day, to that moment.
The love to UAE happened on my first day when I arrived, because I was walking to the supermarket and I met a lady in the street, and it was 1st of January. And I said, hello, Happy New Year, being me. And she responded. And we spent half an hour talking. I'm like, who does that? In London, people told me, you talk to strangers, you are weird, you are a chameleon. They told me all kinds of things that are wrong with me. And here, suddenly, I felt like everything is right with me. I'm kind, and she loves that I'm kind. And she said, why don't you come to my house, meet my husband, meet my son? I was immediately invited to their home. I spent my first Ramadan with them. So can you imagine how much I fell in love with this culture? From being so welcomed and being so understood and so admired for who I am. So, of course, I already started my brand while I was in London.
Yes.
So when I came here, I said, okay, let me go and explore the local fashion scene and the markets and the fabrics. So on one of those trips, I took a bus because I had no money for taxis and I had no car, of course. And now people look at me, they cannot believe that. But I actually took a bus. I was taking buses. So I went to Satwa, and Satwa has a few stores that sell majlis sofas and tents.
Yeah. Till today.
That's why, yes, till today. And so that's why I saw this role standing outside of the store. I don't know what spoke to me. I just said, wow, this is so beautiful. This fabric is so strikingly beautiful.
Spoke to you.
Yes. And I asked the store person to unroll it. And he was like, what are you doing? And I started trying it on as if I want to make a coat. He was like, are you crazy? This is for the sofas.
Yeah.
So I said, give me 5 yards. I think I know what I want to do with it. And I was stitching it. My first 2 coats I stitched at night because at 9 a.m. I had to be in the office.
Yeah. I
stitched at night. I took this kitchen chair, took it out on the balcony so I wouldn't wake up my neighbor.
Yeah.
My flatmate, and I would put the sewing machine on top of the kitchen chair, and I was stitching it, sitting on the floor in the balcony. Yes.
I didn't know this story.
Yes.
And this is a time when you were working and your salary was 5,000 dirhams.
Yes.
You
and
were
half
working
of it I was paying for my accommodation. So what was left was 2,500.
Oh.
Yes. So that's why when I say that I had no money for coffees, I literally had no money for coffees. If you count the taxes, if you count the lifestyle that we have, going to look for fabrics, you need money to go there. You need money to buy fabrics. So
wow.
It's a true self-made story.
No, I know, because I've been observing you since 2014, since we first crossed paths, and here we are 11 years later.
And you know what is interesting is when we compare ourselves to people who say that they're self-made, but they're actually not. And you wonder, how come they already have this and they already have a store in this mall, but they probably don't tell you the whole story. Because the true self-made person experienced so much hardship, and success doesn't come easily, and success doesn't come in the first year. My brand is already 14 years old. But to people, it seems that I got lucky. How did I get lucky?
No.
It took 14 years. That's half of my life.
No, you didn't get lucky, because I know a little bit, a portion of how much rejection you ate for breakfast.
If I open my inbox,
yes, tell us about
emails
that. Tell us about
emails
that.
after emails that I put all my heart in, and they never got answered. I approached stores, I approached ministers, I approached entities, I approached, you name it. I always wanted for my idea to promote UAE culture to be global and viral and something that holds a special place in the UAE. And it's not always that my emails were answered. Actually, only maybe 10 or 5%. That gives you the scape of rejections that I faced and still face. It's just the difference is that before it meant something very personal for me, and now I don't take it personal at all.
Where did you find so much belief in this is gonna work? This fabric, amplifying the roots of the heritage of UAE, is gonna work. Rejection after rejection, no people not answering, people making fun. What are you doing making dresses out of tents? Are you mad? And you're Russian in the UAE. What are you thinking?
Oh, the stories with being Russian, you have no idea what
We want to
I
know.
had to face.
We want to hear.
No, because everyone says, oh, you're here for a certain business.
Yeah. Don't
What
worry,
do you mean?
Romanians get it the same, like the Russians.
Anyway, I'm happy to be a different representative of my country, and
Same.
I'm very proud. The story that comes to my mind always when you say, how did you handle rejection and what made you believe in this idea so madly, is the story with Albert Einstein's mother, who, when he at school, she received a note saying, your son is incapable, please take him out of school. And she came home and she said, darling, you are too smart for this school, we will find you another school, because you're too genius for this school. This is the attitude that I had to my idea and to my business.
But it's the same attitude of Stephen Bartlett. He said, I was delusional. I was delusional. So you, him, Einstein, what a combo. Einstein, Stephen Bartlett, and Katya Kovtunovich.
No, because
You're in a good company. You're in a good company.
Motherly feeling like, of course my child will make it. And I treat my every design that I make like my child.
I love when I watch your Instagram from time to time and you praise the DHL guys,
Yes.
and you make fun with them, and you laugh with them, you praise them. You literally sprinkle love in every package
But
that you
people
send.
who work with me, they love me
And
because
why do you do
everyone
it?
knows me.
And why do you do it physically? Why do you physically send the packages? Why don't you have someone doing it for you?
Somehow it works to the best of my advantage when I control everything myself, because then I can be 100% sure how it was handled. You know, with shipping, so many things can go wrong. Customs, deadlines. So I prefer to be on top of everything. And DHL guys, they saved my life so many times, because
How?
if the cutoff time has passed,
Yeah.
so they don't receive any more packages,
Yeah.
but I have their number. George, please. Oh, Miss Katya, okay, no problem. Come meet me here. Give me your package. Like, they go out of their way to help me, and I always go out of my way to praise them.
But what is in you that people can feel more inspired or feel more courageous? Because the same attitude you had when you were waiting at the fashion weeks as a journalist to enter the fashion show, when you didn't have no connection, the same attitude you had when you convinced chief editors of British Vogue to let you internship with them, to be an intern with them. What is in you that other people can also activate in them?
I think when you love something and when your eyes are sparkling and you tend to read everything available on that subject, you come over prepared and people see it. So when I see a person, like I had one girl who came to intern with me from Germany. So when I received her email, her name is Alexandra, she said, Katya, I found your story online. I want to come to Dubai. I want to do internship with you. I said, dear Alex, Dubai is a very expensive city. You need a car. You need to stay somewhere. It's very expensive. Sorry, I cannot take you. She said, no. I already worked in a restaurant. I earned my money. I prepared for this internship. I already decided where I'm going to stay. I already rented a car. I was like, this is me. Mm-hmm. I was this girl when I came to London. I already have a job. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm happy to be there. I just want to learn. I was so determined. And when I tried to kind of not answer to that email, because I was like, okay, she will forget about it. And then I get a phone call. Hi, Katya, I'm in Dubai. Oh, my God. And at the end of 3 months, I asked her, Alex, what did you learn in these 3 months? She said, I learned how to be Katya. I said, what does that mean? She said, I learned if I go, let's say, to DHL to deliver a package, if there are 5 people or 10 people waiting there in line, would Katya wait here? No, no way. Katya would go and do 100 other things, then come back when there is no line. So she learned to prioritize. She learned to assess situations. And that's so necessary to succeed, because if you wait in every line, you will never arrive anywhere. And sometimes you need to break rules, and sometimes you need to do things the way that no one else does, like texting directly the DHL guys or having contacts with everyone.
It's pretty much not taking no for an answer.
Yes.
Loving.
Or taking no for an answer, never.
Doesn't exist.
Never.
Doesn't exist.
No.
Not in your world.
If I don't come through the door, I come through the window.
What gave you the courage to keep going? And also, you haven't shared with us, how did you respond to people when they were making fun? So whenever we create something new in any industry, people are resistant. We resist change. And there is on the curve of adoption of something new, the early adopters are just like a very small percentage. The majority of people are like, let's see, what is this? and when you are in Dubai and you have a fashion house and you also have to have sales, you can't really afford for people 2-3 years to catch up to the fact that this is a marvelous idea.
Actually, the reason why it survived, because this was not my only idea. My business started more as an atelier. We did everything from business suits for ladies. We've done wedding dresses, you name it. I've done so much. And also the second part of my business is beach dresses, so beachwear. So by the time Sadu was still developing, and I knew it would take time.
Okay.
I was busy with other things. And we had sales from day one. The minute I opened my business, we already had clients.
True.
So we stayed afloat. We didn't make profit because I had rent to pay, I had salaries to pay. It was a completely different setup to what I have now. But I learned what works for me. Maybe the same strategy would not work for another brand. I think it's important to find what works for you. Almost what doors God opens for you. That's where you should follow. Because what doors the doors that God opens for other people, maybe not your doors.
For sure.
So you need to really connect with your story.
I love when you say, because you're also invited by institutions and by schools to give keynotes, motivational speeches because of your success. I also love when you say that I cannot be a consultant in fashion. I cannot teach you how to open a business because
it's so true.
Because I run mine on love, and that's not a strategy.
It is true. So when people want somebody to consult for them, they want a strategy. But my strategy is following intuition and signs from universe. I cannot replicate this in someone else's shoes. It's impossible. So who am I to tell people what to do? And who am I to tell them that's a right decision or that's a wrong decision? Only a business owner, a true entrepreneur would know. And talking about rejection, Jan Koum, who I personally know, who created WhatsApp, when he was working on WhatsApp, people said, you're crazy. Like, nobody will download an app. To download an app on the phone, why would you do that? Because at that time we had BBM and BBM messages and SMS. Imagine, every time you see something visionary, people reject it. I met Chris Messina, who created hashtag.
Okay.
He was here in Dubai in one of the conferences, and he gave the most incredible speech, saying that when he went to Twitter with the idea of hashtag, of grouping posts, Twitter said, are you crazy? Who's going to do that? We don't need that. And where is hashtag now? It's everywhere. And when I came up to him, I said, Chris, I'm wearing a sofa fabric that everyone rejects. And it resonated with your story. He said, keep doing. If they reject it, that's a good idea.
Fair. So much validation, so much strengthening of not just of a creation, of the fact that you want to constantly innovate and not shock, but surprise the market and just let your creation be.
I'm just not moved by doing things that others do.
Yeah.
If everybody goes right, I want to go left. If everybody plays paddle, I want to ride horses or get into MMA. I really...
One summer when I was trapped here, I couldn't travel for different reasons. Your message on Instagram, your story on Instagram really gave me so much contentment and peace when you said, everyone is away in Saint-Tropez or some island. I love being in Dubai because the streets are empty and no traffic. And I'm like, thank you, Katya. I need to hear that today.
Again, you can look at the situation, I'm stuck in Dubai, or you can say, wow, I have so much freedom to get things done much faster than in a normal time when everyone is in town. So I actually trade it to my own benefit.
Tell us more how the UAE government reacted. I know that you represented them in Expo. I know that you've been associated with them. Tell us a little bit more what type of associations you had and how they responded to...
It's incredible honor, of course.
Of course.
Because, you can buy a post by a fashion influencer.
Yeah.
You can buy a celebrity placement. You cannot buy respect of UAE government.
No.
You cannot buy respect, and you cannot buy this special attitude. It's unique. So, of course, I'm very honored, very, very honored to serve my country that embraced me and inspired me. I wish to do much more. And to do much more, I need to be in association with Ministry of Culture or with someone more powerful than me, because on my own, I've already achieved everything I could possibly. With these two hands, literally, we've shipped to 70 countries. Everybody now sees the Sadhu Majlis and says, Katya, that's
UAE?
you.
It's Katya in UAE and UAE in Katya.
Yes, and wherever I go, people recognize me. So it's actually the impact we've achieved is much bigger than even my Instagram followers.
For sure.
And also a lot of Emiratis didn't know the name Sadhu.
Yeah.
So it's through me and through my work, they started talking about it. And it became a big trend. And of course, a lot of people copy my designs. Even Queen Rania wore a piece very, very similar to mine. Even when I posted that story, that picture, people commented, Katya, congratulations. I'm like, oh, okay, I will take the congratulations. You took my design and my idea, I will take your congratulations.
True. Oh.
And even in China, they copy my designs. That is a real success, When they copy you at Alibaba, you made it, because they copy Chanel and they copy me. How honored I am.
What are the what items are they doing with
the tunic? And we ordered it once, and it's a completely different quality.
Of course. This has a bit of wool, right? What more do you want to do? Because you're saying, so what's your vision if you were to do even more projects with the Dubai government? What vision do you have?
I would like that, Sadhu tunic is already a souvenir of Dubai, because everyone comes here and says, I would like to buy it as a gift for my friends in New York, for my friends in Fiji, for my friends in South Africa. So it became something that's inspired by local culture and that can be worn in other countries. And my idea was that people buy it here. They keep wearing it in New York or keep wearing it in London, and they keep promoting UAE because, like you said, you will get compliments. Oh my God, this is gorgeous. Where did you get it from? Oh, it's from Dubai. So we will introduce Dubai in a very subtle way, and it's not about a party or expensive cars or fancy restaurant. It's about culture. It's a very subtle, beautiful message.
Roots. It's the roots. It's the roots
true.
Of the heritage of the country.
I'd love to have them in duty free. I'd love it to be an official souvenir of Dubai. But, it's not very easy to open those doors by yourself.
But so usually doors are opening for you, Katya. So it's a matter of time.
When it's the right time, I'm sure.
Hang in there, because you've been opening all the doors. I bet my money on it.
I remember the moment when it was still the lockdown, and somebody... talking about the UAE government. It was still the lockdown, and somebody tagged me on Instagram, Katya, look. And I went there, and it was Her Excellency Reem Al Hashimi wearing my tunic to officially address the expo participants after the lockdown. I couldn't believe that. Out of all the abayas that Her Excellency has, she chose mine. It meant so much to me. It meant so much. I cannot even express.
I sent you a video because I was doing a keynote for ADNOC, for their executives in the expo. And then I had time to roam around. And I ended up walking in the store that sells souvenirs. And I saw a big, not pile, rack, right? I think, and they were these beautiful kaftans in all colors, and I immediately took a video and I said, "This is my friend. Her kaftans are here in Expo. Of course they are here." And
Yes, we were at Expo official souvenir store, which is
Yeah,
incredible because
I
a Russian
know.
girl in
Yes.
Dubai created something that became official souvenir of UAE and Expo. This you cannot buy. It's either you belong or you don't.
For me, I see beyond you having any nationality or being Russian, I see how the love that you felt for the fabric transferred into these incredible designs and fused with the Arabic culture. So it's just love. But the resilience that you had to sell, to be successful, to ship in 70 countries, to dress Lady Gaga, to dress Andrea Bocelli and his wife, and many, many other people that I don't recall in this moment, that feels like strategy, but it's not strategy as you just shared. Because there are many talented designers out there who have incredible outfits, but they haven't been able to build such an iconic brand.
I think the key is to do something that no one has done, and that was my strength, because no one has done it. So I got marketing, I got interviews because it was a unique idea. It was a visionary idea. If you do white T-shirts, you compete against Chanel, you compete against Louis Vuitton, you compete against H&M, you compete with all the Chinese outlets on all these websites. But if you create something that no one has done, you do experience the struggles, you do experience rejection, but also you get into this blue ocean of opportunities because you get this leverage that all the outlets, the news, the newspapers, they want to write about you because...
Looking for something unique, you think it was partially, again, upbringing from your mom, or it was also the depth that you had from being a fashion journalist?
No, it's just my love for doing things that no one has done. It drives me. Like I love to go. Like for example, I have a friend. She's a pilot.
Yeah.
She's a girl and she's a captain. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like no one has done it and she done it. I'm so proud. I would totally do that if I had the opportunity. Or racing cars in autodrome. There are not many girls there. I love to go to places where it's not common. So the same happened with this fabric. No one has designed fashion with it. So I want to go there. I want to go to unexplored areas. I'm literally losing interest when I see everyone is already posting about this trend or that trend. That's exactly what I don't want to do. I want to set trends. I don't want to follow trends. It's like so in me. It's like you don't want to...
But how you don't fear rejection?
Sorry?
How you don't fear? How come you don't fear rejection?
Because I get this adrenaline of doing things I love. It's not that I wait for rejection or I care for rejection. I just do things I love and I don't care what others think at that moment.
I have some rapid questions for you. What did you have to sacrifice that no one sees?
A lot of time, a lot of weekends, a lot of nights, sleepless nights. Because sometimes you finish posting stories or you finish answering your clients or you finish preparing things very late at night. The first 5 years, I didn't take a single day off. Yes, 5 years. And I didn't take vacations.
5 years?
Yes, the first 5 years of my business.
What's the biggest myth about women in fashion or women in entrepreneurship?
To be honest, I don't follow the stories of others. When I was a journalist, I followed every single story and I knew every single story. The minute I became a fashion designer myself, I had to almost zoom out and disconnect from what others are doing and focus only on what I feel, how I feel it, what I think excites me. And I think that's where you tap into this genuine and raw energy that actually leads you to breakthroughs like with Sadhu. Because you cannot keep an eye on others and think of others. I don't even have space to think what others do and why they do it. I don't really spend time thinking about other people in that sense.
One of the things that I admire about you is how free you are. Like, for real. Not on Instagram. No, I know you are free. And there are areas in my life where I would like to be as free as you. How do you manage to be free, to be tough, to be feminine, to be soft, to be a good listener, but then to give orders? How do you do the switch and still maintain?
I feel like there are 10 people in me. I have friends who only met me in the nice settings and they say, Katya, you're the sweetest person. I say, wait until you work with me. People who work with me, they actually hate me because I'm very demanding. I have no time. I demand quality because everything has to be impeccable. Everything has to be beautiful. And if there is a small stain or if there is a small thread, they see another face of me.
My team know the same about me.
What's that?
I'm the same with my team. Demanding. When they're gonna hear this, they will feel a bit more
But,
normal.
but one thing about me is that I'm very loud to
Show love, appreciate.
no, to condemn someone. I'm very loud when something is done wrong,
Okay.
and I'm also very loud when something is done right.
Okay.
And I like to praise, and I like to give gifts, and I like to show appreciation. So I think it balances it out, if it makes sense.
Who is your rock?
Sorry?
Who is your rock?
Who is my?
Rock.
Who is my rock? Me. I am my own cheerleader most of the time, but I have very close friends who are always there for me also. My friends who can handle me in a bad mood are the most precious people in my life, because when I'm in a good mood, the whole world wants to be my friends.
Yeah.
But when I'm in a bad mood with my demons, and
Yeah.
my demons are usually when I criticize myself. For example, if I come on a podcast and I watch it afterwards, I could have said it better. I could have done it better.
Yeah.
And everyone who watches the same podcast would be like, Katya, but you are great. You said it so perfectly. But I am the one who is never happy with my results, because that's a voice of my mom,
Yeah.
who said, oh, one excellent mark is not enough. Why didn't you bring 2? Why didn't you bring 3? Or you stitched a dress, why didn't you stitch 2? She would always find something that's not right. Instead of praising something huge that is right, she would find something small that is not right. And that is poisoning. And that's my poison that I'm living with until now. I'm trying to learn to live with it. Now, of course, it impacts me much less after therapy and after self-work, but we cannot deny it. So this is part of me that lives with me.
I have a lot to say, but I think you've said enough, and I don't want to put any more layers onto your raw, real, and very, very precious story. The way you conduct yourself in the world, the way you are just hugging the world with your words, with your beautiful designs, with the way you send to DHL these designs, the way you praise many people. You are very special. I'm very happy to know you, to have had this journey together since 2014.
Thank you so much.
To Katya, who was in fantasy world and made the fantasy world from 7 a massive global success and trend.
It was literally my fantasy world, because
It
the
was.
world around me was poor,
Yes.
was not beautiful.
Yes.
We didn't have beautiful clothes.
Yes.
We didn't have a beautiful house.
Yes.
So this world where I could create a hat and make it feel like she's in Paris,
Yes.
or she's walking in the streets of Vienna, or she's in New York, I could dream. And the boots maybe that I couldn't afford myself, because there were no Italian boots at that time.
Yeah.
I could make these boots for her with my own 2 hands.
Make your own
and
dreams.
That's what made me also so independent, in terms of I have 2 hands, I can change the world. I am my own cheerleader. If I want to make an impact on UAE culture, I have 2 hands. It's enough. And you know what was the trigger for me? Every time I traveled to, let's say, Washington, the taxi driver would say, oh, you live in Dubai. Oh, they have slaves. Oh, they have no culture. It hurt me, because I knew this culture from day one, as I told you, when Emiratis invited me to their homes. So I wanted to change this narrative to something positive, to something true, that truly represent UAE culture. Because these are the most kind, the most generous people. I took a friend of mine to an Emirati friends of mine home. And after I asked her, what is your impression? She said, I cannot believe that. I am nobody to them, but they treat me like I'm their family. And that's exactly Emirati culture.
It's the same experience I have. I have incredible Emirati families and part of the royal family from Abu Dhabi who I'm coaching. And I I have no words. I'm super impressed with the generosity of spirit.
Yes.
That is constant. To the little Katya, who manifested her dreams into reality and is inspiring an entire world, not just the nation of UAE, I want to read something for her.
Wow.
For her. So it goes like this. She stitched her first dress for a doll, not the stage, on Sakhalin's shore, far from fashion's front page. A whisper of thread, a vision so wide, with winters in Russia and fire in her stride. From Vogue house halls to Prada's gold floor, she knocked with no keys, yet opened each door. Not with a name, but with a needle and grace. She rewrote the rules, took up her own space. Dubai heard her echo, a desert-born song, where horses run wild and dreams ride along. In the land of the expo, she dared to reveal that Sadhu, once humble, could shimmer and appeal. She dressed Lady Gaga in statements so bold, Andrea Bocelli in elegance gold. With opera in heart and ballet in bone, her gowns hold a music that's all of her own. Like Gaga in glam, bold and surreal, she dressed stars in silk, but made it all feel. And if you ask why her kaftans can whip, it's because she sews secrets her soul couldn't keep. A diplomat of dresses, couture as a bridge between east and west, from desert to ridge, where camels' bells chime and couture lines flow, she crafts with the rhythm of Andrea Bocelli's Low. She's part nomad muse, part rebel in lace, who turns fabric to freedom and stitches to grace. To Katya.
This is magical. It's exactly true.
To Katya, the dreamer who unmutes the world, not with noise, but with vision and silk flags unfurled. With each design, she quiets the shame and fashions her voice into more than a name.
Directly to my heart. Every word is so precise and is so me. Andrea, this is magical. Oh. Thank you so much. How did you manage to choose every word that is so precise?
It's called love,
Wow, I love it.
which you know a lot about. Thank you for unmuting yourself. Thank you for sharing your story of how you unmuted yourself. I trust that you are moved as much as I am moved by this incredible woman. And I think you are invited by default to episode number 2, because we have so much more to talk
exactly.
about.
I was going to say, did we say everything that we wanted?
No.
I think it's only 3 or 4 questions that we touched on.
Only. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea.